Hi everybody, how are you today? My name is Sherry. This is my channel, Lady Phoenix. If you're new here, it's all about trying to learn how to rise up from our challenges. And the challenges that I'm struggling with lately, and a lot of my friends here, have to do with neurodivergence. If you are new to learning about that topic, it has to do with ADHD, autism, and some other things such as OCD, I think bipolar, and a couple other types of conditions and differences in our brains and how they develop. And the rest of the world is what they call neurotypical, and it is designed in a way that works for them, and it doesn't always work for us. So I am coming on today to give you guys an update, and I can't believe it's December 2nd. I actually put in an effort today. I was going to come on like I normally do right after waking up. And oh my gosh, I worked yesterday and I am wiped. I just want to go back to bed. It's that withdraw kind of day. And it's dreary out. It's dreary out. Let me see if I can show you. Can you see that? Look, it's so dreary. It's yucky. So I know that I haven't been on here in a while, and I'm trying to figure out how I can schedule my time so I can start doing regular content again. It's hard for me, and you guys can let me know if this is a challenge for you as well, to be consistent. I seem to go all in with whatever thing that I'm focusing on, whether maybe it's looking for a new job or cleaning my house or getting a new special interest that I will be obsessed with for months. Trying to create a new business for myself in hopes that it can create some kind of stability that I can control and earn my own income, so I don't feel as dependent on other people and they don't have to support me because of my challenges and how dependent I've become, which is really embarrassing. But hold on one second. I have a notebook here, 3 minutes in. I always think I'm going to pop on, say a few things, and then go. And then I go off the rails, and I'm not going to do that to you today. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go pause this video. I'm going to make a list and talk to you guys about some topics, and we'll see what resonate with you and what you would like to talk about this week. Besides that, I would like to figure out a way that we can meet weekly. For those of you who need the moral support of another neurodivergent person so you don't feel so isolated like I feel isolated. The people in my family are neurotypical, and it can create some issues with the way we think, the way we communicate are different. And so that can unfortunately affect the relationship between you and loved ones, whether it's your family or your significant other. Those of you who have are part of Orion's community, he is an advocate for autistic people and their loved ones who want to support them. He has a really good channel if you want to check him out. That autistic guy, or Orion, I can't remember which one but if you type in that autistic guy or Orion in a search on YouTube, I'm sure it will pop up. From what I understand, he used to be a radio DJ host. So he has professional experience and he's able to do content more regularly than me. I'm just a person struggling. If you would like to learn more about ADHD or autism, don't feel that you have to have both, and don't feel that you have to have either. If you're a family member or a friend and you want to support a loved one who struggles with those, or depression, or other mental health struggles that can go along with being neurodivergent, or even just being different in any way. You don't have to be neurodivergent. Any kind of mental health struggle or feeling different from other people and not knowing how to relate to them. Please consider subscribing to my channel. I'm coming back and I'm going to start doing regular content again. And I think it could be very beneficial to all of us to connect on a regular basis, even if it's just to check in once a week and say, hey, how are you doing this week? What are the things you're struggling with? I'm struggling with communication differences and being misunderstood. And I know they're trying. Also, holidays are coming up. I had a birthday in the beginning of November and I kept putting it off, and eventually they just like sprung it on me, decided what night they were going to do it. And they did compromise with me. And instead of going out to dinner, we did eat here, but it was stressful because I had to pick up my scripts that day. And some of you know one of my scripts I cannot be without. And I was without it one day. And he just decided, okay, we're doing it tonight. And what am I going to say? I kept putting them off. So we did it, but the whole time I had been walking around all day waiting for one of my scripts to be filled. I went out of town waiting. I sent it in and it never came in. It's in now. I did fill the antidepressants already. But yeah, it was less than ideal, and I don't want to complain because then they're already trying really hard, right? And it just makes them feel bad, and then I feel bad. So I'm at a loss. If I could hide for a month, maybe I would do that. So we're coming up on the holiday season. In America, we just had Thanksgiving. So that is a day for people to be grateful and celebrate their family and come together. And sometimes there's pressures that go along with that. And I can see birthdays, holidays as being potential nightmares for people who have sensory sensitivities. Also, if you think of all the different things that some of us struggle with, and we're each very, very different, think of, all right, if you have to put a list together and you're the mother or you're the person who is expected to celebrate and get presents for kids and organize, that's huge executive functioning. And if you have been going your whole life without being diagnosed and you have ADHD, that can lead to, by the time you get to Christmas, be on the verge of a meltdown. And you just want to get through it. And it's so draining. It's draining for everyone. Don't get me wrong. It can be very stressful. But I feel like the stress over the years and the challenges I've had, plus the fact that I can't have kids, and the people in my family, like half of my immediate family has passed away. My brother and my dad. And it's my mom, and she's older, and I don't know how many years I have with her. There's, the conflicts that sometimes you can have as an adult child living with a parent. And that, from what I understand, is really common for at least neurodivergent women who are in this similar struggle to me. So there's that. So what are the different things that holiday season can trigger for us? We have, if you go to the store and deal with the crowds, nobody likes to do Christmas shopping. Nobody likes to deal with it. For me, there's this extra, almost CPTSD from working in retail for decades. And any Christmas song has been basically beaten over your head. Like, the companies, they're ruthless. They don't care. So even before Thanksgiving, some of these places, they're just Christmas songs, Christmas songs, Christmas songs, until you're like, dude, I hate the holiday now. Thank you so much. Once upon a time, those things were good. And now it's like all about commercial, you know, buying stuff, buying stuff, buying stuff, buying stuff. And I know that our economy and, sometimes our towns and our small shops and businesses rely on that the consumerism. But it's just a sad time for some of us, because all the things that gave it joy for me was about family. And now I just always assumed since I was young that I was going to have my own kids, and that's sad. And I don't want to adopt. And I'm 51 now, and I'm neurodivergent, and I keep waiting for my life to be fixed, because how am I going to raise a child if I can't even get my shit together? It's sad. It's heavy. It's sad. And then the deaths of people that I've loved. And not being in touch with my dad's family has been really hard for me. And I have tried to reach out a couple times, and they just end up reaching back out to my mom. And I feel really isolated, and I can't talk to him about neurodivergent stuff because he died before I even knew about this. But he, maybe like 2 decades ago, was questioning if he had autism. So there's that. It's just, I don't look forward to Christmas anymore. It makes me very sad. I feel like there's nothing good, It just reminds me of, I want to enjoy the time I have with my mom because soon I might not have her. And I got to fix my life, or I might lose my home if I can't make an income. And it's not fair that it's all on my fiance, who we are struggling in our relationship. And I don't know if I'm losing him. And that's like a whole nother conversation. And I haven't known how to talk about it, but I think it's really important conversation to have, because a lot of the struggles that I have personally in my life that are hurting me and making it hard for me to function on any level has to do with my neurodivergence and the place I'm at right now, which I don't know how to fix it. And some of it you can't fix. And therapy helps you in the sense that it's trying to be like the serenity prayer. It's trying to give you the wisdom to start to understand what's happening. It's not your fault. You can't just fix it. And no, maybe help you figure out and sort through how much of your struggles are part of your brain working differently, and that maybe some of it you've been trying to force all these years and you can't fix, that maybe they're not broken, they're just different. And especially if you're really high masking like me and you're sorting it out later in life, I'm 51, it's hella confusing, right? With the crossover symptoms and characteristics that can be shared with ADHD, which I do have. And I don't have access to an assessment, not one that my insurance will pay for. None of them take my insurance. This is a problem. If 70%, so, I've heard some lower figures like 60, I've heard some higher figures, 80, and this is high masking, what used to be called high functioning, but you don't see the days when somebody can't get out of bed. You see them when they're at work and they're masking, and you are so conditioned. It's not even like something you're aware that you're doing. It's a survival thing, because all of these things that you have learned since you were a child to hide, hand flapping, fidgeting, interrupting, blurting things out, being blunt, being honest, learning that there's rules that you may not know, every way that you would have acted that was natural to you since you're little was you could get in trouble for, is considered being disrespectful, rude. It wasn't really understood. And it wouldn't have been, even if it was, I don't think it would have been accepted. I still, because I look fine. I look just like everyone else. And I can't stop certain things. And I can't stop certain mood swings. And anyway, there's so many emotions tied to that for me. I have so many conflicting emotions. I'm mad. There's no one to be mad at because it's nobody's fault that I grew up when I did. They didn't know in the 70s and 80s about this stuff. You knew about it when it was obvious, when somebody was very high support needs, who couldn't speak, but all the like subtle flavors in between, if you could talk and you can walk and you could show up, you're fine. And that was it. So you just thought you were crazy. And I still carry that. And I know that that's considered, part of it is like imposter syndrome. Part of that is unacceptance, which if I've been alive on the planet 51 years and I'm just coming to process all of this, and I process things really slowly, I keep thinking it's been 2 years. I have no idea when the thought clicked in my brain that I might have autism as well that sent me down this path. But I keep thinking it's 2 years ago, but I keep saying that, and it's been months now. So I don't know. I'll have to go back to my first videos, which were terrible cringe. I don't even know if I can watch them to try to figure that out. But I don't even know what I'm supposed to do, or anybody else. This high percentage of people, estimated 70% of neurodivergent people, whether you have ADHD, autism, or both, and I have looked up the figures for ADHD, isolated just ADHD, and I've looked up the figures for autism, and they're pretty much right in line. They're like similar. Some people have speculated that it could be the same thing, but they're not technically the same thing. And there are actual brain differences. And I know that it's different for autism than it is for ADHD when you're comparing the physical, the anatomy differences, and the functionality of how your brain developed neurologically from when you were a child growing up. And it's different. It's enough that you can see it on scans. Your frontal lobes are a tiny bit smaller. The connections between the different parts of your brain aren't working properly. You have lower dopamine, which different parts of your brain rely on. It's not just your motivation chemical and your feel-good chemical. Your brain's, it's like if your car doesn't have fuel in it, and then everyone's like, well, you could drive over here if you tried harder, push on the pedal more, and it's just going, because you don't have the fuel. These are factual anatomical differences. And you're not crazy, and you're not imagining it, and it's not in your head. So, and then culturally, I think there's a certain amount of backlash, which I get. And I think I did also when I was younger about ADHD. You know, when somebody told me, I think you might have ADHD, I like almost was not violent, but I was vehemently against it. And I'm like, that's bullshit. That's just in people's heads. They're making that up. What else is it? It's almost like this human nature knee-jerk reaction to resist a different idea from what you're used to because you didn't have special attention. You didn't have supports. You didn't have help. So it's fine for you. It's fine for them. They look fine to you. It's almost like, I think maybe we're all guilty of that until we learn that it's not that way. And I'm still struggling with that. I have a lot of expectations on myself still based on what I think I should be, what I think I should be able to do, which I know logically is not helpful for me. But it's really hard to undo your concept of yourself, what you are and are not able to do, depending on who you are and your particular neurodivergence and your particular struggles out of the potential struggles you might have and how severe they are. And then if you're very high functioning and your family members or your significant other is neurotypical and they're used to thinking of you a certain way for many, many years, you might think that this will be helpful to share with them. You might think they'll go, oh, that's why, and then suddenly be accepting. It's really hard for anyone to change concept of how you think of someone else, right? And I think it's hard for me, and I can only speak about my experience, to think about, what I can and what I can't do. And it changes. It depends on if my sensitivities are bad, if I'm dysregulated on a day, if I've been going through some things that are really emotional for me that particular week, regardless of what they are and if they should or shouldn't be, if they are, my symptoms are going to be hella bad. They're going to be way worse. And then I'm going to be even more mad at myself. Now, this is just my pattern I'm fighting against. And I know better. But it doesn't change the inner self wanting that to not be true. No. This is not how I am. That's not how I am. That's a lie, because I look like so all the same reasons that people think it's not possible for you to be autistic or have ADHD or to think everybody has it. All of these myths that were disproved about ADHD when I was diagnosed 25 years ago, people are still believing because they want to. Because that's what it seems to them. Because that's what you believe. Because that's all you knew and that's all you believed. And that might not be the reality for some people, and it's hard. It's hard. And I'm struggling with one. I wonder if it's even worth it. Since I've lived in the house that I live in currently, I've been here for almost a decade now, and that's pretty much when everything fell apart. It kind of went down the drain. That's another video. The why doesn't matter. The going through the process and coming out the other side and learning from it and growing from it is what's important. I know that they try. And they are a lot more understanding than they were. But I think it's really hard on them. And it's hard on me. And I'm grieving this idea that I might not be able to do some of the things that I've been trying to force myself to be able to do my whole life. And that's not okay, because I have this belief that pure sheer willpower, you can do anything. And who wants to... Going against that belief makes me feel like I am putting myself in a victim mentality, when it's really about that serenity prayer. It's not just for addiction. I really think I've been reflecting on that this week, that the serenity prayer, if you're neurodivergent, it's very hard for me to sort out what I can and can't do. And I could just push myself and say, okay, I'm just going to tell myself I'm neurotypical and just fucking push myself through it. But I've learned what happens if I do that. There is a price that you pay. And I don't want to burn myself out and be out of work for another several. I'm only working 1 day a week now. How bullshit is that? And I just feel like, oh yeah, I keep talking about the percentage. Approximately 70% of autistic people are either unemployed or underemployed. It's very high percentage. And I thought that perhaps because if you look at what the spectrum is, and there's so many different levels to it as far as support needs. I mean, some people have it pretty severely impacting their life, so they need a lot of support. You know, they might be not able to talk. They might not be able to advocate for themselves. They may be so overwhelmed. They may have sensory sensitivities that you and I can't imagine. I don't know what it would be like for that person. That's a completely different situation than somebody like me. So something that might help me may not be helpful for them or appropriate. We're also different. I just feel stuck because on the one hand, I get feedback that as I'm starting to process through some of this, that I understand I need to learn what is a part of who I am and what I will choose to accept. Because if you think about something, if you're trying to force yourself to be able to do something because it's a neurotypical expectation of you, like consistently being on time, if you cannot do that, it's like punishing yourself. It's such a waste of energy, and we have such limited bandwidth to begin with. So maybe in my situation, maybe I should find a job where that doesn't matter. Because, okay, so maybe I'm 5 to 10 minutes late. Maybe I'm 2 minutes late. To me, I'm tired of focusing on that when I have so many great qualities and capabilities. And for me to be worn down over the years because of the minutia of the small, insignificant things being such a measure of your success and your ability to be what they consider successful in your job, which absolutely has nothing to do with you doing your job. It just has to do with you fulfilling what the company mold of what you're supposed to be. And this seems to be pretty consistent across different demographics of types of work. I remember talking in the comment section to somebody who was saying that as an autistic person that he actually works in IT, and a lot of times he won't necessarily have to work with people. So you think, okay, this is great. Maybe that can lessen the pressure on him to live up to that when he just wants to work. He just wants to focus on the work. And he mentioned the stress of having to work with other people and doing the customer service aspect of going to the office of the person who has the issues, I believe. I don't know if I'm remembering this correctly. And that it was an open office concept. Oh my God, the sounds. So you're hearing the phone calls and you're hearing what's going on in all the different cubicles. How are you supposed to focus if you have sound sensitivity? Oh my God. I would freak the F out. How is somebody not supposed to get burned out? Okay, it's been half an hour. I'm going to let you guys go. I didn't even get to talk about what I wanted to talk about. Let me know in the comments, because I can't script what I'm going to say ahead of time. Let me know what the ideal length of video is for you. If I do a longer one, I try to go back and watch it and separate it by topic if I can. It takes a lot of time, and I don't know if that's sustainable for me right now. Maybe I can start setting a little timer out when I'm recording, so my videos aren't crazy long, because nobody's going to watch a 2-hour video, even if there's a ton of good information, which one of them I did a few weeks ago was. It's still very haphazard because my brain is that way. Very creative. Anyway, I'm dyeing my hair this week. I want to do flames, but I'm not sure. And so I was thinking, this is totally side note, of using some semi-permanent stuff, a temporary hair color that I've gotten over the last year. I've got orange, I've got red, I've got magenta, I've got burgundy. I don't know. I would have to like bleach this out completely to do a fire ombre, which I would love to do, but I don't know if I have the courage. So sometime this week I might color my hair. But besides that, what I'm trying to figure out is I don't seem to be able to have balance as far as maybe for weeks on end, I'm just focusing on my business and then I lose track of days. And then I'm just looking up patterns, how to start the business, all the different things I need to learn because I can't think about anything else. I get overwhelmed. And then I have weeks where all I want to focus in on is shit, my house is a mess. I don't have a schedule anymore. I'm staying up crazy. And then I have to like rein myself back in to have some kind of functionality. And that's almost mission impossible because it ties into what I struggle with as a person with ADHD, my particular struggles, which is bad as far as like sleep hygiene. And I kind of tied back. And then I got completely like this past month, partially dysregulated like throughout the whole month. And, birthday pressure and which we can talk about another time and Thanksgiving. I hope did you guys, anyone who celebrates in the States, if you had to be around family, if you celebrate, comment below if that's painful for you with your challenges, because what I would really love to talk about soon, intersectionality of these different dysfunctions that might be happening simultaneously. At least with ADHD, you might have the sensing of time is off. Your expectations of what you can and can't do are off. Your executive functioning might be really bad. Time blindness. What was the other thing? Poor working memory. And then when you get frustrated with one of them, it makes another symptom worse than it normally is, and they affect each other. And it can spiral, especially if you have it like I do while you're getting ready for work, and they all affect each other. And I feel like it's this ping pong ball, and then they spiral, and then they get so bad that some days I have anxiety attacks. And luckily I haven't had one in a long time, but it just gets worse and worse. And then as it gets closer to the time to leave, the anxiety gets higher and my functionality gets worse. And it's like, I logically know this, but can't shut it off. So there's that. But yeah, I want to try to figure out, I'd like to talk to you guys about the holiday season coming up and be supportive of you, find out what things are helpful for you. And if we start meeting on a live stream at least once a week, I think that could be really beneficial. And some of you that come, we can all talk with each other to come up with some coping strategies, because even if we don't want people to see the things that we struggle with, or we don't understand it, or we don't want to deal with it, maybe seeing that other people struggle with it too, maybe somebody will have an idea that might help you, or vice versa. I'm not sure which day of the week I want to do the live stream. I'm trying to figure out if I can use, something like a planner again, or something like this, that I can maybe go, okay, this day I work, the day after I rest and I do laundry, but that would be like today. Some days on a Tuesday, I can just, depending on how busy and intense socializing was. And it's crazy. I would never consider me having autism because I seek it out, because I get so isolated, and because I care so much about people that I want that connection. And then I don't understand why it does what it does to me, that the next day I'm in bed. And then I think I'm making myself a victim. People around me don't understand. I don't understand. I'm thinking, am I watching too much stuff about autism? Have I convinced myself I'm worse off than I am? No, because this was happening before and I was looking for answers. I have a lot of denial about a lot of different things. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out, okay, it's not too bad, 35. How I can build a schedule during the week that maybe there's a day that I connect with you guys. There's a day where I might make kitten shorts and schedule them so I can get back on the algorithm. I can't even believe that, just being gone for a month, those kitten shorts that I made to just kind of keep with the algorithm, since I am neurodivergent and it affects my ability to be consistent. I have ADHD pretty bad. I'm thinking if I have both, that's why I struggle so much, because I'm dying. I need structure. I need it. I want things to be consistent. I am very cognizant of how much harder it is for me because I don't have it. Yet the struggles I have with the executive functioning and the time management and the time sensing that I don't have, that other people don't have. It's all of them together. If you layer them on top of each other, if you think of them individually, you can understand how any one of them can mess you up getting ready for work, or mess you up while you're trying to think straight, to write out goals, any of those things. But now layer them all together, and it feels like on some days when they're bad, it completely sabotages you. And then you know that the people who love you are trying very hard to be understanding, but maybe they can't deal with it anymore. You know? So yeah, I'm trying to figure out how that would work. And I stopped going to counseling for a few weeks while I was trying to focus on starting my business, which now I've completely gone away from because I don't seem to have balance, and now I'm focusing on something else. So I'm wondering if it would be, because it's hard for me to shift my mindset. And you might think it's a different day, but while I'm sleeping or before bed, like if I'm focusing on building a business, my mind's thinking, getting ideas. And then the next day I'm taking off. It just makes it easier, right? And I'm wondering if I can even do that. So it's hard to switch gears going from one thing that you're focusing on. And I can't remember, my autism friends might know, there's a word for this. It's very hard because the processing, my brain is like, I can't think about that other thing because I'm doing this, because it already took me a while to get my head into this. And now I can't do this because I'm thinking of that, but this is what I want. So I'm not really sure. I would like to figure out. So if I do, let's say my week would be Tuesday through Friday. I don't even know if I can count Tuesday because I'm exhausted on Tuesday. Wednesday through Friday is not a work week. It's 3 days. Maybe that's all I can do. So I want one day out of the week to be able to reconnect with you guys, either on a live stream or something. And I want one day to be able to put towards my business. And then one day, maybe I'm considering looking for a different part-time job that maybe the socializing will be with one person. I think part of it is that you're multitasking so many different things that no human really can do it. It's the companies are selfish. They want to make a profit. So they already know that they are putting expectations on you that is more than one person can do, let alone a neurodivergent person. I love you guys. It's 40 minutes. I'm going to go. It's starting to snow where I live. Luckily, I think we're only going to get a dusting to an inch. And I'm going to come back later. Hopefully, it's okay if you guys don't watch this. I'm just kind of thinking out loud and trying to figure out, like, going forward, how I can integrate these things into something where I don't have to stop doing one thing that's important to me to catch up and do this other thing that I have now neglected that's important to me. And maybe you guys too, if you need the support. Um, yeah, I have no idea. Maybe you guys can help me with that. I don't know if you struggle with that as well. In some weeks and months, I'm struggling so hard. It's all I can do. Like if my burnout is bad or if my depression is bad, which happens this time, I'm like pointing to the happy light, like you could see it. Um, sorry. And the things that I have to do to help with my depression are opposite of the things I have to do if it's burnout. If it's burnout, I have to freaking rest. I could try to do the things and they feel the same in my case, because my particular symptoms with my major depression isn't so much the sadness, which I do have the sadness and the hopelessness comes in and they creep in that you don't even realize that they're there. It's just like this gradual turning of your brain. Like you don't realize until like you're in it and it's bad. It sneaks up on you. They feel the same because mine comes with a lot of physical exhaustion. You feel like you're getting sick. You feel like you can't physically move. It's worse than chronic fatigue because if my burnout gets really bad, like the time I had to take 4 months off of work, I had to go, it was 40 minutes. I don't think I really moved for days. I think that is all I could do to like lay in bed and physically and get up to go to the bathroom when I needed and to remember to drink water or eat. I have to acknowledge that. I have to not push that away because that could happen again. So it's hard. Like, I don't know how other content creators, even though they're professional, like Orion, I don't understand. Like, maybe their neurodivergence is completely different from mine. Maybe it's hard. It's hard, right? Because we all, like, that part of us that shows up when we are ready to record ourselves, like I'm doing now. You might see me or somebody else and we look completely normal, but then you don't see, like, when we turn off the camera, if we have to lay down for the rest of the day, if it's one of those days, or the weeks that we don't want people to see us. You don't see that, you know? It's embarrassing. So yeah, and there's so many blind spots and it's invisible. And and I'm not talking levels of functioning like high functioning, low functioning labels like how they used to describe autism. I'm just talking about the other meaning, like just generally existing and being able to take care of yourself, activities of daily living you have to do when you're a nurse in a nursing home or when people are very seriously ill, that when they can't do for themselves, like bathing, like feeding yourself. And then when it happens that it's that bad, there's a lot of shame and people aren't going to want to help you because they know they can't. They know that they're going to fall into the undertow and you're going to be super ashamed of it and it's going to spiral. And if you struggle with depression as well, that they like feed each other. So yeah, I had a moment this week that I really want to talk to you guys about soon, and that is a moment of synchronicity that surprised you. Some of you I've talked to about the whole meaning of like the phoenix, and it's a symbol in my life, and why I named that's like been a handle of mine for 25 plus years. And I just go straight into neurodivergence in my topics because that's mostly what this channel is about. And I want everyone to be who they are. I want everyone to feel welcome to believe your beliefs. I might sometimes talk about my beliefs, not because I think other people should believe them, but because maybe in that particular time, that is one of my tools in helping myself. Something may be deeply meaningful to me and may be part of something that helps me get through challenging times. So I want you guys to know, I might talk about spirituality because that's something that helps me. It resonates with me. I don't want you to necessarily believe it too. And it may be weird, but just know if I talk about it, and that's not your thing, that's completely okay. Don't watch those parts, just because I am going to get back to the main point of the channel, which is the struggles with neurodivergence. And that's just part of who I am. And that's part of my special interest, and it might not be yours. So be tolerant if you can, if you're not that way. But I had a synchronicity that surprised me. I'm disjointed today. I'm all over the place. I have to pick up my ADHD script. Obviously. Oh my God. So bad. I saw a sign for a business, and it had that perfect graphic image of a phoenix, and it was called Phoenix. I'm like, Phoenix, cool. And sometimes there might be like a billboard or something that makes you think of something, or it feels like it's exactly what you're supposed to take. It just resonates with you. And whether or not there is a higher power or a guardian angel or something that's like, hey, this pertains to you, here's a little message for you, or not, doesn't matter as much as, hey, this idea resonated with me. And it got me thinking about some things. And the word that was there with their business, whatever, I think it had to do with, I don't know if it was like fire, like having to do with putting out fires, or if it had to do with firewalls, like computers, because it was I was driving. It was like on the back of a truck or back of a vehicle. It was an advertisement for their business, but it said integration. That word integration. And I was like, oh. And you might be like, what is she talking about? This whole past year, perhaps, I've been feeling this, and I might be in the middle of it. I don't know, because you don't really know. You just feel disoriented. I feel like I'm in the middle of a transformation season in my life. It's crawling. It's happening at such a slow pace. It's like disorienting and painful and confusing, and I don't know. I know the person I'm turning into is still me, but it is a process of letting go of the old way of looking at things and evolving in some way, and that is never comfortable. It's never easy, but I was always like, when reflecting on it's just, I feel it. It may not be something you're going through. It may not be something that you're going to go through, but it's just a process that I happen to be in right now, and it's tied in with my neurodivergence, right? And I always was trying to figure out, well, the transformation, if we go into Carl Jung, or you go into it being an archetype versus an actual spiritual, if you don't believe in a higher power per se, in an actual process, an awareness or an intelligence or a higher power being involved, even if you look at it from a psychology point of view, like my psyche's going, oh, that means something to me. Oh, look at this. This could be really helpful for you. And it never occurred to me. I always thought as transformation, and I knew it's important because what I'm doing and the attitudes I've had that are dysfunctional need to end. And it's my blind spot, right? It's holding me back. It is hurting me. So part of that process is, okay, what things do I need to burn away? What things do I need to let die that aren't truly part of me, that are maladaptive coping skills, complex PTSD, learned helplessness, maybe for things that maybe aren't something I need to accept. It's really confusing, right? That whole part of the serenity prayer, the wisdom to know the difference. I can't freaking tell. I can't, because I'm in it. I can't see it clearly. So the brain that would be used to assess these things is affected, and my perceptions of these things are affected by my biases, my experiences, my traumas, my guilts, all of it. It's all in there, and I can't see it straight. But I always thought that transformation, you're turning into something else. Like the basis, the framework is in there somewhere. Like if you even look at the meaning of a caterpillar, it's it has these little proto wings, which I never knew. So oh God, it's almost an hour already. Guys, this is like, I'm in it, so I have to finish my thought. Nobody's going to watch this. Oh, I really want to talk to you guys too. I might do that today. I might do it today. I don't even want to edit this. I'm tired. I'm tired. By the time I'm done doing this, it's like, that might be all I have for today. I have to do laundry. It's so bad. Oh, there's so much I want to talk to you guys about. I miss you. I do. I miss Alan and Ego Shredder and all of you guys. And Hakan and Genevieve, who I need to get back in touch with. One of the things that I know that when I lose touch with people, depending on the situation, that there's some situations that I do have hurt feelings from. That's a whole different conversation. When you've had like lifelong friends or connections that I guess decide not to be in your life anymore abruptly, and it's like all of them, and you blame yourself, and it might have to do with another person in your life who's personality disordered, who manipulated them. I don't know. Is this something I did? I don't know. Is this something I can learn from? I have no idea, because they're all gone. Like that has hard feelings attached to it, because how do you resolve something when you don't have an answer? You just can't. You just have to move on if you can. And that's really hard to do, because I think we're always second guessing ourselves when it comes, maybe not all of us, but socially. But generally speaking, I can be like lose touch with a friend and not talk with them for 20 years and then suddenly like get back in. It's like nothing happened, and I'm fine with that. Like I can go away for a while and it not be personal, you know? I don't know. Are you guys like that too? It seems like the girl that does the content on The Thought Spot, is her name Eileen? She's awesome. She's awesome. I think she has ADHD like me. Incidentally, have you guys run into challenges trying to get an assessment for your autism? I don't know what to do. But we can talk about that next time. I've run out of things because my brain is just going blank. I was going to have like coffee hour with you. How should I do this? I don't want you guys to answer it for me. I know that it's my choice and it really doesn't matter. Ultimately, I'm thinking around noon-ish for lives, because if that works for you guys. I know that people here in America, that might be a hard time to do that. If you work in an office and you're in your lunch break, you want to decompress. You don't want to watch a live, probably. You don't want to talk about, let alone somebody walking into your cubicle and all of a sudden there's autism content. If you don't feel like disclosing or talking to people about it, because maybe it's a very ableist culture at that particular place and it's not safe to talk about. But there's at least 3 different people that are regulars that are from England. And Alan travels a lot. So sometimes he is in Spain, sometimes he's in England, and sometimes he's in America. So I never know what time zone he's in. So that changes. But several people are in England. And I want to say that you guys are 6 hours ahead of me. I forget. I'll have to look it up again. So I figured noontime might be a good time, because then at least it's available to people who live 6 hours ahead of my time zone. Because if I do it when I want to, which is like 3 in the evening to whenever, that would be like 9 p.m., and what if they want to go to bed? That's not fair to them. And especially if you're like me and you get wired and stimulated, ADHD, and excited to see people that you relate to who get you, that you don't have to mask around. It's such a relief, but having that right before bed might make it really challenging to go to sleep, especially if we end up talking about a difficult topic that week. I don't know. It's completely up to you what you guys want to talk about. If you want to just hang out and shoot the breeze. But I've been thinking about, like, I'm going to have to move all this furniture because my computer's in the other room and I want to start my own business online, and I have an Etsy store, and I can't access my computer over there. And I have a hard time doing content for you guys on my phone because as soon as I do a video, I have to, get it as soon as I can so I can delete it. Oh, incidentally, and I think I mentioned this in a post, a day or two before Thanksgiving, I noticed that my phone, sorry, my hand's shaking from caffeine. My phone was like dying very quickly. And I'm like, oh, please don't tell me my phone's about to go when I'm just about to start my business. Thinking about having to transfer information out before it dies. And then Curtis was looking at it. He goes, do you realize that your phone is bulging? And he had taken the case off, and where the battery was bulging out of the phone. And so he had to figure out how to take the phone apart because the manufacturer put the battery in the phone. Like, you're not supposed to have to replace it ever. So he had to figure out, he had to go watch some videos to educate himself on if he's able to take the phone apart, to disassemble it, to get the battery, to get that battery that the manufacturer put in there out, order some new ones. So yeah, I was without a phone. Oh my God, that sucked. Because I couldn't like do a post. I know that I don't put a lot of content out. My channel's like flatlined in the last like couple months, but it's my fault because I've been focusing on something that might help me to support myself, so I don't have to depend on retail because that burns me out a lot. So yeah, I didn't get to say happy Thanksgiving to anybody. I know that this is international, so not all people celebrate the same holidays, but that would have been fun to do something. And I was anxious because I'm like, what if family or friends text me and they think I'm ignoring them? Happy Thanksgiving. And there's actually somebody I do have to get in touch with and text them back and let them know, hey, I'm not ignoring you. I did not have my phone for like 5 days or something. You realize how much, if it wasn't for the fact that I'm doing something that's really important for my own support, which is this channel, as well as some of you, and trying to start a business, I probably would think that that was a sign that I'm dependent on my phone too much, and I would probably want to disconnect more. However, I am doing two things that are very important in my life at this time, which is this channel and learning about neurodivergence with you guys. I'm not a mental health professional if you're new here. I'm not a medical professional if you're new here. I just share my own experiences, and hopefully we can connect and see what helps you guys and support each other. This is not a replacement for any kind of therapy or other support you might need, so please reach out to appropriate professionals who can help you. And this is just intended to be supplemental. This is like the human element that is so important that you can't get out of therapy, but it will not. Do not think that I could replace a therapist. by any means. I need one. And I can't do that for you guys. I can't because that will become codependent. I will start thinking that I can do that for you falsely. And if there's things that you're supposed to be learning to do for yourself, I will want to go in and save people from themselves. And you're not supposed to do that. So this is healthier for all of us. I love you guys. I miss you. I hope you're doing well. If you see this, please comment below and let me know what you would like to see more of as I start coming back more and being on here more regularly again. What would be helpful for you? Me just doing my weekly update vlogs. I know that a lot of people don't really watch those. I can't really edit them a lot of the time. I personally think they're terrible, but they're helpful for some people. And it's helpful for me because I don't journal. I don't write in a diary or anything, and I don't really want to. I did when I was young, and it's just like, I don't even know where they are. I don't want to see them. I want to burn them. I don't want anyone else to find them. So, I've run out of steam, and I've run out of what I was going to talk to you guys about. But I love you, and I hope you're doing well. And always tell you the truth, because it's important. Yeah, I'd love to talk about how we can schedule our time if you struggle with that like I do. Any ideas from you guys how I should maybe structure my week so that I can put some energy and effort to each of these categories, like a little towards my business, a little towards scheduling content for you guys. And what would be most helpful? Would you like me to start doing small educational, like much more professional, like easier to watch, fun, educational videos to go over each of the challenges and dysfunctions that we have if you have ADHD and or if you have autism? Would that be helpful? Would the interaction of a live stream be helpful for you to connect with others or me? What would help you guys? I need that feedback. I don't need it in the sense that I don't know what I'm going to do and please tell me what to do. No. I have my own mind. But I kind of want to do them all, and I don't want this channel to just be for me. So it's me collaborating with you. If I want this to be helpful for other people, I need to know what you guys need, what would be helpful for you. And then I can reflect on that and see what can I and what can't I do, and then incorporate that. That's how we help each other. I'm not perfect, but I'm struggling too. But maybe that's what you need to not feel alone. Because I don't know about you guys, but it's really freaking isolating. I'm the only neurodivergent person in real life in my like this is real life too, because you guys are real people and you're having your struggles. But in my personal life, that I interact with on a regular basis, there aren't any. So that makes having a balanced perspective hard, and accepting myself hard, because the expectation and pressure, even within myself, to fix myself is there. I don't know what I should attempt to fix. I don't know what I should accept about myself. And I don't know how to tell. Lord grant, it doesn't matter if you don't believe in God. The prayer itself is super, super meaningful. Even if you believe psychologically, you're saying this to your subconscious. You're saying it out loud. It helps you to focus on it. Grant me the serenity to accept the things about myself that I can't change. How do you even know what those are? Sometimes some of the things are learned helplessness because of us having so many painful experiences over the years convince you that you just can't. And then there's some things you legitimately can't, and you think you should, and you think you can. So grant me the serenity to accept the things about myself that I cannot change. The courage to change the things I can, if it turns out I can change something. And please, dear God, give me the clarity and the wisdom to know what's what, because I have no freaking clue. I'm just in a mess and I'm trying to figure it out. So come along with me for the ride, and hopefully we can help each other, and maybe we can make it a little bit better. And at least you'll have a point of view of somebody who may have, even if it's not me, even if it's somebody else participating, knows what you're going through to some extent. Even though we struggle with different things, there's an intuitive understanding that neurotypical people maybe can't have because they've never gone through it. So, yeah. I love you guys, and I'm gonna go drink my coffee. Do you have depression? Do you have ADHD? Do you take mental health medications to help you as a support for you to be well and to feel like yourself? This is a friendly reminder from your ADHD autism friend that I love you. As a fellow human being who may be struggling yourself, it's hard. We don't want to do it. It sucks. I don't want to have to do it. I don't want to have to do it. I just want to just wash my hands of it and just be like, screw it. I'm not doing this anymore. But if you know that things get a lot worse and painful for you, if you haven't taken your medicine today, let this be a friendly reminder that I love you, and that go do that if you can. And have you had water? Maybe we can talk about different ways that might help to remind you to drink water, because I don't think I've had any today. I don't know what time it is. It's 3:13. It's 3:13. I love you guys. Bye. Comment below. What do you want to see? Because I've been gone for a while, and I'm reforming in my brain, like how I want to do things. And I don't really know where to start or what would be most helpful for everybody. I love you guys. Bye.